It's fair to say, the state of California has seen some pretty freak train accidents in the past decades. In the Cajon Pass, runaways in 1989, 1994, and 1996 killed 8 people in total due to kinks in the air hoses, and for one of those incidents, 2 locomotives had working dynamics while the other 4 did not. In the LA Metro, a total of 39 people lost their lives in Metrolink train accidents in 2002, 2005, 2008, and 2015. In 2016, an ACE train derailed after hitting a tree caused by a mudslide. This injured 14 people. However, in 1973, an explosion happened in Northern California that would be considered the biggest in the state of California, and maybe even one of the biggest in the United States. And it turns out, it is now 48. On April 28, 1973, at Southern Pacific's Roseville Yard, a 103-car freight train that originated from Hawthorne, Nevada, had just stopped in Roseville for a possible crew change. The train was meant to be going to Concord, so that way munitions and airplane bombs could be dropped off there. The reason for this was because of the ongoing Vietnam War that was going on at the time. The bombs and munitions were placed in steel boxcars, as wooden ones were phased out. The bombs in question were Mark 81 bombs, which, although tiny, still released huge explosions. At 7:52 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, residents in both Roseville and Antelope started calling the local fire departments as they started seeing smoke billow from the yard. However, what they would find next wouldn't be so pleasant, and at 8:03 a.m., disaster struck. What you just heard was Roseville Yard exploding. After the explosion, several other cars, including tankers, went off. The tankers possibly went off either due to punctures or because of a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion or BLEVE. The explosions could be heard 40 miles away. The explosions were so huge that they managed to reach all the way to Sacramento, and even made the top half, or at least the dome part, of the Capitol building in Sacramento to be closed off due to a fear of a collapse of a building. Luckily, though, that didn't happen. However, compared to Sacramento, Roseville and Antelope suffered worse, as part of Roseville was destroyed, while Antelope was completely wiped off the map. 169 rail cars suffered complete annihilation, while another 68 and 1 locomotive have ended up being damaged. The locomotive number is unknown, nor if it was scrapped or returned to service. However, the 169 rail cars that were destroyed were taken to scrap. Amazingly, as if it were a miracle, not a single person was killed, although 52 were injured due to debris. Everyone, however, was asking the same question. Why? Why did this have to happen? Was it all because of arson? An investigation by the Federal Railway Administration, or FRA, and not by the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, was carried out. They looked at the railcar that exploded first, which was a DODX type railcar, those used to carry bombs. They discovered that it had composite brakes, which, although quieter, burn more easily. Thus, they overheated and therefore set the floor of the boxcar on fire, thus resulting in the disaster. Soon in 1996, the days of the Southern Pacific were over, as Union Pacific purchased it, along with its other purchase, the Denver and Rio Grande Western, and they were both absorbed. The yard was rebuilt through the 80s and the 90s. In 2000, just in case another accident in Roseville Yard happens, the city of Roseville ordered 3 electronic outdoor warning sirens to warn anyone of impending danger. That goes without mentioning that on October 18th, 1997, several bombs were found from the wreck while the yard was being fixed. So have we seen the last explosion? Sadly, as proven 1,875 miles away 32 years later in Texarkana, Arkansas, the answer is no.